Are we live?
Yeah.
Hey! Happy Birthday Friday!
Happy Birthday Friday.
Sorry for last Friday. We were really stretched out thin that week, but yeah, we've got a bunch of things to talk about. Hopefully we won't go on for too long. I know we've been making a lot of long videos lately, and last week was really short. So hopefully we'll find a happy medium between the two. So we just saw the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie. That's why Sonic is cameoing here. Of course, Tails is famously showing up in this movie.
Oh, was he in this movie?
Yes, for anybody worried that Tails is going to play a very small part, I felt like they put his character in the movie quite a bit. They gave him quite a lot to do.
He did play a small part.
And I will say though that Knuckles is more front and center in the story from the start. They kind of did a little misleading thing with the teaser at the end of the last movie. Knuckles shows up before Tails does. Mm-hmm. So they kind of retconned Tails finding Sonic.
Did they though?
Well, yeah, I felt like they did.
Well, I mean, it's really arbitrary. All we saw in the teaser for the last one was that Tails appears and is like, I gotta find Sonic. But we're not really given...
I suppose.
All we know is that the events of the first movie have been completed.
Yes.
That's the only thing we know. So he still could have been. It's not necessarily retcon.
The really great thing about this movie is, other than one major human character, Knuckles is the only new character to the story, and they do a decent job of introducing his origin story in quick time, in a very fast time. They don't dwell on it for like 20 minutes waiting for the story to get on.
Yeah.
Everybody else, technically Tails too, even though, like I said, he did show up in the first movie. I like that they didn't waste too much time introducing a bunch of new characters, which is, I think, the best part of any movie that's a sequel to a really good movie, is that you don't have to worry about the introductions. You got them all out of the way.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. The other thing is the non-Eggman human characters in the story. They're up and down as far as how much they're in the movie. Sometimes they're completely out of the movie, and sometimes they're unfortunately front and center in the movie and take up way too much of the movie's runtime with none of the Sonic characters in the scene.
Yeah, it really...
as much as I didn't think it was a bad scene, it was just like, it could have been in another movie.
Yeah,
it didn't need to be in this movie.
The flow is very bad, I would say.
I still enjoyed the movie. I still very much liked it. But yeah, that was the one major part of the movie that I thought could have used a little bit of work.
Yeah, there's a whole act of the movie that is really not, without spoiling too much, it's like a whole act that could have just been deleted from the movie. You really could have just did a little bit of exposition and moved on.
Indeed.
Like, it was just there to be gratuitous.
I will say I felt like the product placement was a little less than the first movie.
Yeah, I didn't.
But it was still there.
Intrusive.
It was definitely less intrusive than the first movie, where like twice in the movie they were name dropping Olive Garden, and there was at least a couple other product placements in there. But yeah, this movie, other than mentioning a particular resort location, which was a bit blatant, I don't remember there being too much outside of that they really advertised
They definitely
for.
didn't shove it down your throat. You know, it's no T3 semi-truck trailer advertisement.
Or a Mountain Dew machine turning into a robot.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely think the music was still on point. I thought all the music in the movie was really good. Very enjoyable.
You've heard all of the music.
Yeah, you're probably familiar with it. Once again, the end credits does one of those retro video game style animations. So don't walk out before that's over. It's so amazing to see.
Fun. It's basically
there were other
like
people sitting in our row in the theater that were leaving while that was starting up. I was like, why are you leaving? This is awesome.
They were almost all of them were gone before that part finished. It was basically
was there a bonus scene after that too? Or?
There was not. I don't think there was one bonus scene.
Yes, I want to say that there was a scene after the animated credits.
Yeah, there's like a mid-credit scene, I believe. The animated credits are basically just a 16-bit retelling of the movie.
Yes, which is what they did in the first movie.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And it makes you wish they made a video game based on this movie.
Yeah, it's
as much as those are usually terrible. Like you see these and you're like, well, they could totally do that. Why haven't they?
I'm amused at seeing that they're video game style sprites based on the movie appearance, which is based on the video game.
Indeed.
So some of the designs, if you went right from the end credit scenes to the video game and put them side by side, you would see some differences. But.
And granted, this and the last movie were both made with Sega, so it's not like they weren't involved with it. Though that is definitely why the pixel animation is so great. I think it's probably because Sega was involed. At least that'd be my take on it. Yes, the intro was same as the first movie. They did the intro with the rings and all the screenshots of different Sega games. Not screenshots, but footage from Sega games making up the logo.
Yep.
So yeah, they did not get rid of that, and I'm very, very glad to see that. If you're a fan of the Sonic games, you will definitely get a lot more references than people who aren't fans of the Sonic games. They had a lot of little winks and nods to the franchise. Some a little more obscure than others.
I just winked.
Oh. Yeah, some are a little more obscure than others. So the younger kids only only know the more recent games. Probably won't get all of them. So yeah. Definitely seems like it's for a family of people who know the Sonic franchise. What's the matter?
I'm trying to see if I could find the other blue blur back here.
Okay. You have a Transformer called Blur that's blue?
Yes! I didn't think to bring it out.
So yeah, definitely recommend this to anybody who hasn't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, how come you haven't seen it yet?
I know.
Do you hate Sonic?
If you like Sonic,
it's
a fun movie to see.
Do you hate Sonic?
I hate him.
How could you hate Sonic?
He is terrible. No, I'm just kidding. I love Sonic. You know what my favorite part about Sonic is?
Is he's blue.
Yes!
So yeah, apart from, a few points here and there that might not make a whole lot of sense.
There's a lot of the movie.
It's there because it's entertaining. Just, let it go, enjoy the movie. Don't get hung up on why he isn't running fast when he could be running fast.
Yes, that's always when they have a speedster in the thing.
Yeah.
They don't use their speed all the time.
They didn't want to be, repetitive. They didn't want to just do the same thing as the last movie.
But it's like,
I'll give it. That's what I
super fast. Just do the thing super fast. Those people.
I will give you that they should have had more excuses as to why he didn't just go super fast for every reason.
Like, hey, that guy's grabbing the last bagel. No, just go get it before he does. You're faster.
Okay.
I
don't remember that being in the movie. Did you just make up a thing?
I think it might have been. Or, hey, there's a lot of people waiting for this new thing. Just run. Run to the front. What are you going to do? They can't stop you. They can't perceive you. It's super speed is so OP. And it's never used as such. It's always treated like a mid-tier power.
Yeah.
But it's like top tier. It's a top tier power.
The only other thing to say, Tails' inventions are kind of just Deus Ex Machina sometimes.
What do you mean inventions, Sikanko? Isn't that a spoiler?
No, Tails has always been an inventor.
Really?
Yeah.
I know nothing about Tails. Except I do like that Tails can fly.
Tails is
but I don't like the lack of wings, though. Seems unnatural.
I will also say the plane that shows up in the trailers that everybody knows Tails for. They kind of just shoehorn that in and give no other exposition of Tails being like, yeah, I know how to fly a plane.
Yeah,
or anything like he just is flying it, and it's like didn't have to mention like, oh yeah, I fly planes all the time from where I'm from.
Yeah, they did a lot of things just to do it to be fun and entertaining.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff they do throughout the movie.
There's definitely some gags in there that like outside of it being a joke don't make any sense.
Yeah.
But as far as it being a joke, it's hilarious.
Yes. There's a lot, and there's a lot of little nods to the video game. I know that the whole thing is a Sonic reference, but there are a few more little things here and there, little Easter eggs that are more direct with the video game reference.
Also, the stuff from the first movie actually ends up coming full circle. They didn't waste anything with the first movie that seemed like it was just throwaway stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, sometimes sequels they try to just be a fresh start. Mm-hmm. This one just continued the story. Yeah, as it should have.
Pretty much it. That's it. And I liked it for it. There's a couple things I'd like answered. Like I don't want to say them all, but there are not more so than just why is this here in this movie.
Yeah.
But there's a few things that I'm like, you need to explain this a bit more.
Agreed.
But overall, I liked it. And one of my favorite scenes of the movie really didn't have anything to do with. I mean, it wasn't a Sonic thing at all. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I loved it. It's one of those scenes that could have been deleted because it doesn't really do much.
I'm trying to think what scene that could be.
Yeah, it's where they encounter a bunch of other people at one point, and it's kind of like what happens in the. I can't say without there being a spoiler.
You'll have to tell me later then. So anyhow, so definitely recommend Sonic 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Other movie we saw previously was Morbius.
Yes, I've seen some memes where Sonic is like laughing at Morbius, basically, for being terrible.
Unfortunately, I would definitely say Sonic 2 is much better than Morbius. Although I don't remember how long Morbius ran, but Sonic was over 2 hours. It didn't feel like it was
really
2 hours.
It did
but
not.
I've heard people complaining it was too long, and I was like, I didn't think it was too long.
I think there's definitely
Morbius definitely, I think, I recall it dragging on a bit in places. They could have cut that movie down a bit. But yeah, I thought Morbius was a decent movie. It was not as bad as some people have been making it out to be.
I think it could
have been a lot better.
Yeah, a lot of people make it out like it was this horrible travesty, and like, no, it's just Sony being Sony.
Yeah.
Sony hasn't gotten their head out of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they're still making movies the exact same way.
I can agree to that. That sounds like a fair assessment.
Like Marvel, I mean, you can complain about it being formulaic and repetitive, but they have changed quite a bit. Marvel proper, not...
I will definitely say, though, that the stuff they were teasing in the trailers to tie it in with the other universes, it does not pay off very well.
It's not in the movie.
They squeeze it in the post credits, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. So if you've seen the trailer, there's a scene where he's Michael Morbius is like walking down an alley getting dressed or putting on a coat, and he was going by a Spider-Man poster. You're like, oh my God, Spider-Man!
That's not even in the movie.
There's a scene where
the Daily Bugle shows up throughout the movie. That's about the only thing during the course of the film that actually is any kind of real time. Well, there's a couple of references to Venom.
Yeah. And some of them seem a little like, how does he even know How does he even know the name? Like, Venom rarely ever says his name.
Yeah, and the cops reference it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a couple of overt references to Venom, and that's about it as far as it connecting to other movies.
And that scene
until
with
the end
Vulture
credits.
Showing up. That scene with the Vulture showing up that's not a movie. He like comes in.
It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense why he's
drives
there.
Up in a vehicle.
How he's there.
Yeah, it's just like.
And on top of that, that was the other thing that didn't make sense. So.
You just gave a spoiler.
What?
You didn't give a spoiler.
How did I give a spoiler? You were just telling stuff too.
I'm talking about the trailer. I'm not talking about the movie.
Okay.
I'm talking about how the stuff in the trailer wasn't in the movie. You know what the trailer was.
Michael Morbius starts off the movie as a guy with
We're saving you the trouble watching.
What are those? Not crutches? I think considered crutches. I don't remember what those things are called.
Oh, yeah, those are crutches.
Okay, so they are considered crutches. So, yeah, he's had mobility issues his whole life. Presumably does not have a driver's license. But the scene she's talking about at the end, at post-credits scene, he's suddenly just driving a car.
Oh, no, I wasn't even talking about that. I was
talking
about that scene. I was talking about the trailer. The trailer where you get to see the Vulture pulls up in a vehicle, and he comes out of the back of the vehicle. And he's like, oh, hey, Michael Morbius.
Okay, I guess I don't remember
that seems not in the movie. Yeah, I haven't talked about the movie.
Okay.
Specifically.
Well, in any case, definitely thought it wasn't terrible. It could have been a lot better, but as far as a fun popcorn flick, I thought it was fairly good. Some people have complained about him, like his powers just kind of coming out of nowhere. I mean, like Azreen said, it's kind of a '90s thing.
Yeah.
That that they just happen, and you don't have to explain how they got how those powers came about.
Yeah.
But the origin of him becoming a vampire is told. We see that happen, and that's all you really need.
Yeah, and it's still more developed than his comic book appearance. So.
Oh, okay. I guess. I'm not sure. I mean, I mostly know the character from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, so the 90s Spider-Man cartoon came up with its own origin, but the comic books is basically like, the first time you're introduced to him, he's like, okay, I turned into a vampire, gonna do vampire things. He was basically a garbage character in the comics.
Well, in any case, thought it was a decent movie. I don't know where Sony is going to go with all this.
Hopefully nowhere.
Yeah.
Sell your rights back. Okay, I know I said I enjoyed the movie.
Supposedly there's going to be a Kraven and Chameleon movie. I'm not sure how that's going to really work as its own thing. I really feel like without Spider-Man...
Spoilers. It's not going to work. Not going to work.
I was gonna say, I feel like without Spider-Man, I don't see how those characters manage to hold a story on their own. Morbius was lucky enough to have some good charisma and a supporting cast of some good actors.
It had some really fun scenes. But overall, if you're gonna compare it to the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
I wouldn't.
It's just delete.
Apples and oranges, as they say.
Yes. I prefer apples to oranges.
Yes,
but I do like
too.
oranges. I do like oranges.
But yeah, just will say that everybody who's saying it's like, oh, Jared Leto's ruining another thing. I didn't think he was bad in this. I thought he did great as the character and felt like
he did what he could.
He did the character justice. He was hot garbage in that Suicide Squad movie. I don't know what he was thinking as the Joker in that. But yeah, I definitely don't think he ruined the movie at all.
No. Sony ruined it.
Yeah.
Sony ruined it.
I will definitely grant you that.
And they ruined it. It's like, hey, I'm gonna bake a turd pie. No, Sony, don't bake the turd pie. And then they're like, you know what?
What is with you and cooking?
And then the turd pie came out, and they're like, oh, you burned it. So they couldn't even make the... Okay, but you know...
All right, moving on.
Seriously though, fun movie. It's just dumb.
So moving on, we've been watching Moon Knight. We just watched episode 3 the other day. We're eagerly waiting for the rest of the episodes to release. I think it's a pretty interesting show. It seems fairly different than anything we've gotten to see from Marvel so far. At least I feel. It definitely starts really, really good. I thought that how the series gets going with the mystery, figuring out what's going on, both us and the character, the protagonist.
We get to figure things out.
The protagonist is in the dark about what's going on, and just some of the techniques they use in the storytelling, I thought were both annoying as heck, but also really clever and well done. So I will give it kudos for coming up with such an interesting way to present things.
Yeah.
Even if it can get a come on, we want to see it kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I
or at least I did.
See, for me, I know what the answer's coming. So as long as I know that my question's gonna be answered, I can wait.
But
so I thought it was more fun to be like, oh, the thing happened. What happened there? It's like, well, yeah, I know they're going to explain it. So the anticipation's the fun part.
The only thing I can think of offhand to say against it is his powers are like sometimes unclear as to what exactly he can do. But the upside is he's got more than one costume. Are
you spoiling the show?
He's magic, so he's able to do fun stuff with his costume.
I could do fun stuff with my costume.
You don't have a costume.
Yeah,
You're a bird.
I have a skin suit.
So,
okay. I look like a human.
All right, fine.
I have a beard and a long ponytail. And a Mario hat. No. None of that.
So anyhow, definitely recommend you check out Moon Knight if you haven't been watching it already. It's on Disney Plus. It so far has been starting to tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
A little bit,
but
it's got a few seeds from Marvel. You see what I did there? Seeds.
Because birds like seeds. So anyhow, our last topic for the video. We finally watched the first half of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stone Ocean.
Stone Ocean. I always think of Blood Ocean from...
I was a little worried about, finishing off, or watching all the rest of JoJo. I had not heard at the time that it was only half the season. Mm-hmm. But I am, so eager to see the second half. It is so good. As much as I really loved the previous two parts, this one really just grabbed me straight away. I think setting it in a prison ends up being to its what's the opposite of detriment? I can't think of the right...
benefit?
Okay, it's to its benefit. That sounds right.
Maybe there's a more clever word on it.
Because the other series have the characters traveling from point A to point B and encountering various people trying to stop them on the way.
On this worldwide journey.
This one has them in a single location, and they're constantly coming up against other enemies, and I think it fits better that way.
Yeah. I really like the lead character of Jolene.
Yes.
I think she's awesome. She's not annoying or insufferable like a lot of anime females. And I'm not trying to say that they all are. I love female characters. I can relate to female characters, but they're
not well written much of the time.
In a lot of animation, especially in a major role, a lot of times they could be just super annoying and awful.
Especially in shows targeted at a male audience.
Yes.
They're either typically annoying or just constantly craving the guy, and he's trying to push them away, and they're all jumping at him or whatever.
Yeah.
She don't need no man.
Nope. You don't
She's not necessarily a lesbian or anything, but in fact, she's definitely not. The start of the show shows that she had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
She is a strong, independent woman, and her power is actually really clever. And being that she's the daughter of Josuke, no, not Josuke. What am I saying? Jotaro Kujo. She's Jotaro's daughter, so she kind of inherits some of his ability, and I think we both suspect she's picked up a little bit from Joseph as well.
Yeah. Her power definitely seems to at least mirror his a particular aspect of his power. Not that it's an exact copy.
She definitely has a lot of variety to the things she can do without it feeling like an ass pull.
Yeah, it's not like, what was it?
Giorno.
Yeah, or it's like some of these characters can do so many different things with their stand, and it's like, how does this relate to their stand again?
Agreed.
But with her powers, it all makes sense. You're like, oh, she can do this thing, and she could do this other thing, and then she could do this other thing. But it all ties in together.
It ties in.
Yes. It's like it all comes together into one cool stand. It's a great stand. I like the character. Even the other females in the show, the good ones anyway. The ones that are supposed to be bad are what you would expect. They're just overly mean.
I mean, I definitely think that hers is obviously the most well-developed character.
Yes.
But we're only halfway through. So hopefully some of these other characters will get a little more exposition or get a little more development. We'll find out more about them. But some of them, I get the feeling like everything we've seen is all we're going to see of their development.
Yes.
But they're quite a variety of abilities and some really interesting powers.
Yes.
Though I don't think any of the series that have had stands have had unimpressive powers. So that, just that they have not, Araki has not lost his touch with coming up with interesting characters and the abilities they have.
Agreed. I totally agree. I like the references to the older JoJos when they do happen. I feel like Jotaro in part 4 was kind of not really used.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I know he wasn't supposed to be the star, the main JoJo, or the focus, but I feel like he was just kind of there. Plus the art style didn't seem as, for at least Jotaro, he didn't seem as well drawn. The art, look, I'm not trying to complain.
Did you think he didn't look good in white?
I didn't like how he looked in white, and I think his look was a little off overall. Like he wasn't as detailed.
Do you like his outfit in this series?
Yes, in this series, he's like
Jojo.
Yeah, he's the Jotaro that I fell in love with before.
Oh.
So now he's. I feel like his character.
Do I need to be worried?
No.
Okay.
I love that Jolene though so much. You know what I like about her though is that she's green. I'm a little partial to green as well. Blue is my favorite, but you know what? Her stand is blue.
Ah, yes it is. Stone Free is blue.
She's a green. Maybe I'm your stand.
Ah, I never thought.
You're the green protagonist. And
wait,
I'm
so you're just a figment of my imagination? You're my thoughts brought to life?
Hoo.
So anyhow,
Vine Whip.
Okay, Vine Whip.
You know that's what that is. They can call it.
Birds don't do Vine Whip.
They could call it Hermit Purple.
Birds don't do Vine Whip.
I learned it from a damaged TM.
Okay, you mean
HM? It's a secret glitch.
You sure it's not an HM?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Wait. It's been so long since I played. I can't remember which one's which anymore.
No, Vine Whip was a TM.
Definitely thought that show was phenomenal. Can't wait for the second half. What did we say? August or September? September. So once it comes out, we'll definitely be talking about what we thought of the second half of Stone Ocean. If you've watched the previous seasons of JoJo, definitely watch this one. Do you think it works as a standalone?
As a standalone?
Will people who've never seen JoJo be able to tune into this, not knowing any of the previous ones?
Could. If you didn't know, I mean, it's definitely much better.
Agreed.
If you're familiar with the mythos, but
especially Jotaro being there.
Yes.
Jotaro's whole thing is
but you don't really need
you need to know about him.
A lot of the characters, like a lot of the series, they start off without knowing what stands are.
Yes.
And they have to be taught. And
that's one of the better things for introducing anybody to the series is that the character has to learn what these are already. So if this is your first time finding out about them, you can tune in and find
I think it's I think you could come in use this as you don't have to have watched the previous. It definitely helps.
Yes.
But I think if you were to jump in,
there's a lot of fun Easter eggs between the opening sequence and a few different episodes where they have little winks and nods to previous seasons. I didn't catch them all myself. I saw a video that was breaking down the intro, and my mind was just exploding constantly. All the things they were pointing out that were references to each previous series in the franchise. It was so awesome. So once you finish seeing it, definitely look for that video. Mm-hmm. If you've seen all the other ones, you'll be pretty blown away if you haven't noticed them. And I guarantee there's going to be at least one thing that you didn't catch, because some of them were pretty darn subtle and referencing very small moments in the previous series.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely think it might be worth checking out even if you haven't seen JoJo. it might make you interested in checking out the previous series while you wait for the second half.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah. There you go. Hopefully that was all that was worth the
all
wait.
All the stuff that we watched that was a big deal.
So, yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a happy Fursuit Friday. Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep waving. Ah!